Hello, Talking Fight fans across Canada and around the world. Welcome once again to another episode of The Scoop featuring champ Bola Ray. And this week we've got a very special lineup of profiled guests, including tonight. So why don't you take us away, champ, and let us know what you got lined up.
All right. Uh, today's guest is a fighter renowned for his merciless left hook, especially to the body. Yeah. Former Canadian national team member and Olympian, uh, former world champion, winning the International Boxing Organization featherweight. Featherweight. No, sorry, lightweight. Lightweight strap. He likes long walks on the beach and drinks pina coladas in the rain. He's going to love this one. My name is Bola Ray, and this is The Scoop. Today's guest is none other than Billy the Kid Irwin. How you doing?
All good, guys.
Look at you. Oh, God. How you keeping? How's this whole COVID nonsense treating you?
You know what? It hasn't really affected me much.
Really?
Still got the gym going. We got signs up, and we got sanitizer, and we got, if you're sick, you don't come in. But otherwise, it's been the same.
You're very fortunate. It's because in Toronto, it's done. It's dead. Nothing's happening.
Right.
Like we're looking for something to happen in the next couple of days, but we'll see.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll probably be up this week.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, I come up pretty much every other week. I come up.
Oh, really?
Yep. Stay with my buddy Lee.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lee Chisholm.
Yeah.
No man. Now, I'm going to do a series on boxing families in the future, and yours is one of them. But maybe you could explain how you and your brothers got into boxing.
How I got into boxing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I went to my friend's. I went to my buddy's house when I was 13 to go play road hockey, and he said he was going boxing. I had no idea there was boxing in Niagara Falls at all. I didn't have a clue. So I just asked him if I could come and watch. So I went and watched, and the next day I joined up. In 4 days, I started sparring.
Wow.
And then the head coach was away on vacation. When he came back, he saw me, and he said, "If you keep up to this and you keep doing this, you're gonna travel all over the world." And I was like, "Yeah," like I said, I was never on an airplane before. And next thing you know, it all came true.
He was a genie.
What's that?
It's almost as if he was a genie predicting the future.
Yeah. I remember when I was.
Who was your first coach?
14 or 15. I won the provincials, and we used to have training camps in Toronto.
Yep.
And I remember they were always on, Airport Road.
Okay.
I remember we had to go for runs, and I remember because I never was on an airplane before. And I remember running down the road and seeing airplanes. I'm like, oh man, hopefully one day I can get on an airplane. And yep, in no time, I was flying all over the world. I was away from my home for months at a time. It's like it all came true.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I'm very grateful for the sport. I got to see the world.
Yeah, 40 countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
What did now? How did you start though? Like, who was your first coach, and what was the I don't know what was the light that actually ignited you boxing, loving it, following it?
Well, my coach was Pat Kelly. He just passed away from COVID.
Yeah.
For me, I listened to what he said as far as training, but I learned a lot just watching videos. Like I watched, like my favorite fight was Livingston Bramble from the Virgin Islands.
Yep.
He was the guy that I kind of put myself after. And then I saw Julio Cesar Chavez, so I had a combination of Bramble and Chavez, and that made me the fighter that I am today. And then, of course, I love Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Obviously, that's just a given. But I like the fact that I didn't have to rely on anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, nobody. I couldn't name anybody. If it was my fault, it was my fault. And if I won, I won. So it was the combination of working with the people that I looked up to, the boxers that I looked up to, and the fact that I didn't want to lose, and that pretty much just made me what I am. Yeah.
No. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now you were on the national team for quite some time, quite a few years. Do you have any stories? I bet you have plenty. And please, feel free to trash Chris Johnson all you want on my show.
I'm not gonna do that. I've done it enough.
Nobody will just help me out.
I have a lot of stories.
Trash Chris. Okay.
Is he on?
No. I keep trying to drag his lazy ass on, and he's.
I remember
anyway.
In Cuba, he called Mark Lanuka child molester.
Jeez, God.
And Mark threw up the kitchen table and went after him. I remember that story for sure. Yeah, that was crazy. He was chasing him, and I'm like, oh my God, our teammates were fighting. I got too many stories. It's just crazy. I got jumped in Russia. 3 guys got me.
Who's gonna jump
walking
you?
Down the street in downtown Moscow. 3 guys were following me. I was with Mike Strange, and we're walking down the street. It's like 1 PM, and I kept looking. I'm like, oh, Mike, these guys are following us. So he took off and ran away. I stood my ground, and as soon as I got close, I turned around and threw a right hand, and I slipped into stones because I was going to fight them all. And they threw me up against the wall. They started slapping me around a little bit, and then I talked my way out of it by saying, "Listen, Hotel Russia, exchange. We can, we'll make a deal, right?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "All right, okay." And I went back to the hotel, and I had my heavyweights, Tom Gillespie and Kurt Johnson. I had them already. I go, "Listen, there's 3 guys coming. You're gonna come and try to beat me up, try to get some clothing. I want you guys with me." And the security will let them in.
No.
Yeah. That was one story. I got lots.
Wow.
Yeah, too many stories. I lost my passport coming back from Russia. Had to stay there for 2 more days with the whole team. Flew back, and I was alone. I got my passport stolen in Cuba. You know my buddy Lee.
Yeah.
Well, we were getting girls in a hotel for like $20 a night. The last night of our trip, they wanted 40.
Oh dear God.
Lee freaked out, and he's getting upset with the security guard. Next thing you know, bing ching, put a gun, put it right at his head. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on now? Yeah, they had a right at his temple.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna shoot him.
Okay.
I got.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah.
Oh dear God. Yeah. Lee's nuts. I can see that happening.
Yep.
That's
Well,
my boy.
the first time. So I've been to Cuba like 50 times, right?
Yeah.
So time I brought him, the first time I brought him, we got out of the airport and we're walking down the aisle to get out, and one door says enter, or whatever it is in Spanish. And today the other one was outside. He goes to the outside door and starts shooting the door, trying to get out. And I'm like, "What are you doing? This is the end. This is the exit right here, right?" And on the other side of the door was a Cuban with an AK-47, all set to go. And I'm like,
Oh dear God.
what are you doing? Like, man, we can't be, this is your first year. You can't be doing this kind of stuff. And he had the gun all set and locked and loaded. And I was like, oh, it scared the crap out of me. Crazy.
Wow. Was Lee on the national team?
Pardon me?
Lee was on the national team?
No, never. No, I just brought him for vacation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just went on a trip. After
Gotcha.
I won the Canadian title in June of 94, and then a week later, I brought him to Cuba.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Did you have a hard time transitioning from the amateur game to the pro game?
No, not me, because I was always a pro when I was an amateur. I always fought like a pro.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I was one of those guys. Even the team, the whole team said Billy's going to make the best pro because he's already got that style.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I never really had any problems with that.
You lucked out there.
Yeah. No,
a lot of people, that's a sticking point.
Pardon me?
A lot of people, that's a sticking point.
Yeah, I transitioned well because I had that style. Yeah.
How did your life change after you won the world title?
Pardon me?
How did your life change after you won the world title?
Not one bit.
You just went right back to the gym and start training again.
Yep. My next fight was murder. Yeah. After I won the IBF title, I fought a guy named Rodriguez, the WBC. Well, I already won the Canadian. I won the IBO title. Now I'm fighting for the WBC Continental Americas against Jesus Rodriguez, which was even harder because he was a Southpaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a harder fight. And then, a couple fights later, I fought Tete twice. That was hard. I remember the first fight. He threw a left hook to the body. I blocked it. First round, I blocked the body shot, but I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to last 12 rounds with this guy? He hit so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. Because I went out there, because I knew how he fought. So I'm like, you know what? You're not going to intimidate me. I'm going right after you. And then he hit me with the left hook, and I blocked it. I'm like, oh, I better box. This guy could punch. Yeah.
How did you deal with guys who are difficult that way? the heavy-handed,
Heavy-handed.
or even worse, Southpaws.
Oh, I hate them. That was my biggest pet peeve, was fighting Southpaws. I didn't like them at all.
I remember you saying something like that.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that you thought that they should have a different league of
They
their
should be in
own,
their
a different division.
own division. Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember me saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're it's hard. You know, it's hard to fight those guys. Well, you think about it.
My motto is
We spar them or we fight them 10% of the time.
Yeah.
And they spar or fight us 90% of the time.
Exactly.
So it's very difficult. And I had a hard time.
Southpaws hate fighting Southpaws.
Yes. You can see that watching fights on TV too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Even when I fought for the IBF title, Spadafora, couldn't punch at all. Nothing. But he was a southpaw. And it was just hard for me.
It just confused you.
Well, I just had a hard time. Yeah.
It just confused you.
Yeah. Just, I'm not used to it. And I brought in a southpaw for 2 weeks from the States. Worked with him. But still, it wasn't enough, you know. Yeah, it was just hard.
Fair enough. What does your involvement in boxing look like today?
Say that again?
What does your involvement in boxing look like today?
My boxing club now?
How are you involved in boxing?
Well, I run a gym. Here.
You know that my picture is on that wall?
You are on the wall? I'm not even
on the wall in that gym.
Really?
There's a huge picture of two amateurs fighting.
And you're one of them?
Me versus Bermain Stavern.
I'll have to. Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check.
That was my second last amateur fight. Second last win in the amateurs.
Yeah, I gotta look. There's so many pictures I had. Really haven't had a chance to look at them.
So how is the boxing gym going?
No, it's pretty busy.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Even throughout this whole COVID, it's still busy.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me because there's no fights coming up.
Yeah.
Motivationally, it's hard for me. Serious. Because there's nothing. There's no goal at the end, right? So I'm kind of down.
That's coming to an end.
You know, one of these days.
This summer, there's going to be a whole whackload of shows. I think so.
You think so?
I think so. I genuinely do. I think this summer is going to be really busy.
Okay, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Good, hopefully.
How would you like to see both the amateur?
Get so many.
How would you like to see both the amateur and the professional game change for the better?
Yeah. More fights. More people join. Well, you know what? I got a couple of calls today.
Yeah.
For want to come out, girls, but so what? Yeah, that's what we need. Keep it going.
How would you like to see, or what do you think? What kind of changes do you think would make the pro game better? For me, the biggest change that was necessary was to get rid of Ken Ayashi. in Canada, well, in Ontario. Just getting rid of Ken Ayashi was a huge, huge thing.
Oh, yeah, I agree. But at the same time, what's happening now is a joke. There's
How
no
so?
well, these guys, some of our guys they're fighting bums. They're absolutely horrible.
That's going to happen.
Like one of my former students, Lucas Body, he's fighting absolutely bums. He's fighting 43-year-olds who've lost their last 5 fights. That would never happen when I was fighting.
Yeah.
My second pro fight, I fought a guy 9-1 with 8 knockouts. And here's these guys now fighting guys who've lost their last 5 fights, been knocked out 4 times. It's like, come on, you can, and they're bragging and posting stuff on the internet, and it's like, come on, you guys are fighting nobody.
They are.
It's horrible.
It's the new age of padding your record.
Yeah,
but they'll get exposed. They'll get exposed because they have to come up and start fighting the real guys.
Yeah. You get to that level, they're gonna fight the next step, and then bang, they're gonna get it.
Right. Like it's inevitable. They're not doing themselves, or whoever the handlers aren't doing them any favors.
Yep. Exactly.
I'm looking forward to some shows.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
You got any pros?
I train Kevin Hickson.
Oh, really?
And Dylan Rushton. And I have one of my own guys, Antonio Scringi. He's turning pro soon. So I got 3 guys, 3 pro, but a bunch of amateurs, you know.
Good for you.
Yeah. Just keep working.
Hey, you're a credit to the sport, my man.
Thank you.
You're a credit to the sport. With that,
that's right.
With that, I'd like to say thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I've been wanting to actually bring you on the show for a while. Finally, I'm still gonna do the episode with your family or your brothers and whatnot, talking about boxing families. But again, thanks again for coming on today.
No,
that's the episode, and you're welcome. You're
awesome.
Welcome.
Okay.
Please.
We'll talk soon.
Will do. Take care.
Thank you. All the best.
And for you, Scoop Nation, I'd like to say thanks for coming out. If you like this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe. You can also smash the notification bell so as you can hear the next one coming out. It's your boy Bola, and that's the Scoop.